I can't fight for you. I put on my shoes, I put on my clothes like everyone in here. I have good days, I have bad days.
And go on and then go on. And this last 2 or 3 or 4 repetitions, that's what makes actually the muscle then grow. And that divides then one from a champion and one from not being a champion. If you can go through this pain barrier, you make it to be a champion. If you can't go through, forget it. And that's where most people lack, is on this having the guts to go in and just say, I go through and I don't care what happens. You know, it aches, and if I fall down, I have no fear of fainting in a gym, because I know it could happen. I threw up many times while I was working out, but it doesn't matter, because it's all worth it.
Because they want to become legends. It was written in the history books for all of us to be here today.
But if you want to begin to move into your own personal greatness, if you want to begin to really enjoy a happy, successful, healthy life, you've got to be willing to go against the tide. You've got to be willing to harness your will and say, in spite of this, I'm in control here.
You don't truly appreciate relaxation unless you've worked hard. And that is the yin and the yang of life. I think what you should try to do is try to earn comfort. And if you can get a day off where you've worked hard and you've accomplished goals, that day off will be so sweet.
I think you have to feel quite compelled to do it and have a fairly high pain threshold. The actual path is going to be some sort of zigzaggy thing in that direction. And try not to deviate too far from the path that you want to be on, but you're going to have to do that to some degree.
That difficulty is an opportunity to get stronger, to develop character, to gain new confidence. Anybody can give up. Anybody can let it overwhelm you, but you know what that's doing? Wasting your pain. That pain is not there to stop you, it's there to prepare you, to increase you, to develop you. What we do in our times of pain. Pain will change us. Heartache, loss, disappointment, not defeated, giving up on your dreams, or you can come out with a new passion, a new fire, excited about the new opportunities in front of you. All of us experience pain. My challenge, don't just go through it, grow through it. Get through it, but you will be different. Now, how the pain changes you is up to you.
And one of the most important things that I've learned along the way is the value of time.
So it's understanding what your skill set is, finding the right place to use those skills, and then going for it.
What kind of a story can you tell in 1 minute?
That ability to get myself up in the morning, no matter how tired I was, to push myself through those pain barriers.
You know, hard work pays.
Continually find more ways to use our time while trying to find more ways to save it.
You know, I have the saying, work like someone's trying to take it all away from you.
You see, you can't actually save time. You can just find different ways to spend it. So when you say you don't have time to do something, you're really saying that you're using your time for other things. One cool thing about time is that it continues on at the same pace, despite how busy we get.
Don't know who you are. I don't know what you're going through. I'm not here to pretend that I understand what you're going through or how you feel in your life. I think the biggest disability that we have as human beings is unbelief. Everything starts with a vision, and a man without vision dies. Hate the idea of potential being wasted in this world. You know how it is. If you didn't go what you've gone through, you wouldn't be who you are today.
is that as I kept trying new things, new doors kept opening. Because you don't know what your future is. You just don't. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what your future holds for you. Go for it, try it, because another thing, I am no different than anyone else out there. I am not here to say I have a superpower and it was all this. It was just, try it, go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Patience, let's say. Don't complain when you're waiting in a line. You ain't going to grow in patience until you're put in a place to wait. There are some times where you're going to wish that you could rewind and do things all over again. There are times where you just wish you could forget memories and you try to drown those memories in alcohol or different pleasures and maybe get distracted by the goals and ambitions of your life and try to put the past behind and move forward.
A closed-mindedness that amounts to an imprisonment so total that the prisoner doesn't even know he's locked up.
The most powerful tool that you have right now in your life, in your body, is your mind. Give me a new perspective. Give me a new way of looking at my situation. Give me a new way of looking at my circumstances. Get my mind ready for this year.
You can't please everybody. But there are people who have the fear of rocking the boat.
Oh yes, it's going to be some struggles, it's going to be some challenges, it's going to be some tests, but even the struggles are an opportunity for me to show off the victory if my mind can handle the change.
The life is too short for that. Too short and unpredictable, moseying through. Not trying to disturb anything, not trying to shake anything up, not trying to make any waves.
I'm as young as I'm ever going to be. I can't get any younger. I can't roll the clock back. You are wasting time. You have to let the past go and step over into the future.
When you set goals, when you have an intention on something that you want to change about your life, your brain helps you. What it does is it opens up a checklist, and then your brain goes to work trying to remind you. It was cold, it was winter in Boston, and for the first time in 3 months, I had beaten my habit of hitting the snooze button. And it's really important to develop the skill.
Before you are boxed and buried, decide that you're going to box and bury your fears. Decide that you're going to begin to live life on a new level, seeking out new horizons, that you're going to find more love and more joy and more ways to give.
I wanted to change my life. And I think most people that are miserable or that are really like dying to be great and dying to have more, we want to change. We want to live a better life. We want to create more for our families. We want to be happier. The desire is there. Again, it's about how do you go from knowledge to action. So the first thing in this story that's important is realizing that the answer was in me. And my mind was telling me, pay attention.
So when you begin to say, what is it that I want to leave? What contribution that I want to begin to make? What difference do I want to make in life? What is it that I want to do with the rest of the life that I have left? What chances I need to take? What risks do I need to begin to embrace? What fears do I need to step on? What areas of my life am I dead right now? What dreams? You can either live your dreams or live your fears. You have got to get to a point where you say, I'm sick and tired of living like this. There's got to be more. That's when people go out and strike out on their dreams. How are you going to make it? I don't know, but I will. I'm going to keep on kicking. I'm going to conquer my fears. I'm never going to give up.
People want to know how to stop the laziness, and they want to know how to stop the procrastination. And, they have some idea in their head, some kind of a vision of what they want to do. But they don't know where to start. They don't know where to start it, They don't know where to start. And so they say, hey, where do I start? And when's the best time to start? And I have a very simple answer for that. Here and now. That's it. You want to improve? You want to get better? You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet? You want to start a business? You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or put together some mobile application? Where do you start? You start right here. And when do you start? You start right now.
I had beaten my habit of hitting the snooze button. I couldn't believe it, and I thought, wait a minute. Counting backwards? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Well, the next morning I used it again and it worked. The next morning I used it again and it worked. The next morning I used it again and it worked. And then I started to notice something really interesting. There were moments all day long, just like that 5-second moment in bed, where I knew, knowledge, what I should do. And if I didn't move within 5 seconds, my brain would step in and talk me out of it. Every human being has a 5-second window, might even be shorter for you. You have about a 5-second window in which you can move from idea to action before your brain kicks into full gear and sabotages any change in behavior. Because remember, your brain is wired to stop you from doing things that are uncomfortable or uncertain or scary. It's your job to learn how to move from those ideas that could change everything into acting on them.
Four o'clock in the morning, I wake up. 4:30, 4:45, I'm doing some sort of cardio. Open these garage doors. It's still dark outside. I do this and then I'll have breakfast and then I will go do all my strength and conditioning training at a gym for about an hour. And then I'll go to set.
We all average probably about 5 hours of sleep.
It's 4:45 a.m. It's still dark outside. Look at that, the lights just went out and I'm getting ready to kill this AM cardio. You can't even see me, but it's gonna be so good, it's bad. Focus!
If you do anything, you never want to do anything half-assed, especially when it comes to your training. Get in, be intense, execute on it, and then get out. For a lot of guys out there, and I was certainly one of those guys, in my 20s, I thought I had all the answers, didn't know shit. By the way, in my 30s, I'm still trying to find myself, as a lot of guys are out there. Hopefully when you hit your 40s, you're hitting a nice stride. If I'm gonna do it, I need to do this job right. I need to stay focused on it. I need to give the best effort I possibly can.
We live down here in South Florida, it's hurricane season. Focus! But when it's time to go to the gym, we gotta get to the gym. And there ain't no stopping us.
It's like I'm gonna be the baddest motherfucker walking it.
All right, empty gym, the way we like it. It's Sunday, just finished my warm-up. This pain ought to be fun.
Focus!
I work out twice before everyone wakes up.
All right, workout number 2. I'm out working all my competition. All right, Saturday afternoon, empty gym, the way we like it. It's leg day, which means it's gonna be sweaty, painful, and fun.
As far as role models, I think, there's obviously some of the obvious role models. I think Edison was certainly a role model, probably one of the biggest role models.
Did you study Edison's life?
Yeah, I read books about him, absolutely. And it's an interesting contrast, like Edison versus Tesla, because interesting, the car company is called Tesla. And the reason it's called Tesla is because we use an AC induction motor, which is an architecture that Tesla developed. And the guy probably deserves a little more play than he gets in current society. But on balance, I'm a bigger fan of Edison than Tesla. Because Edison brought his stuff to market and made those inventions accessible to the world, whereas Tesla didn't really do that. So he'd certainly be a big one. I think the great technologists, Steve Jobs at Apple, Bill Gates. I actually thought Disney was a pretty good innovator.
If you don't know, now you know. It's true. Your friends, family, and loved ones will be the first ones to try and talk you out of greatness. When you're ready to do something and try something new that's out of your comfort zone, that's out of your norm, it's always the one you're dating, the one you're married to, the one that's in your family, your friends in your immediate circle, that will always try and talk you out of doing something special and significant. Without having fear and rejection, without having fear of the word no, do you know how many people have had visions, ideas, and huge career moves that they were about to make, and they allowed the word no to stop them from changing the landscape of their life and their family lives? So many people are afraid of rejection and the word no. It is the saddest shit I've ever witnessed in my life. Boldly walk into the room with your head held up high. And if they don't get it, laugh about it. Don't disown your ideas because they're disowning your ideas. Don't lose confidence in your ideas because they don't have confidence in your ideas. Keep the faith. Don't be afraid to walk into the unfamiliar. Don't be afraid to do what's deep inside of you to do.
I can do 18, 22 hours a day easily. Just keep banging on. To thrive in whatever you do, please understand your terrain. Know what your target is. Don't guess it. Be as clued up as the next man, because that's your petrol. That's your fuel to get you moving. If you don't know where you're going, what your targets are, you're never going to get there. Period. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to fall over, make a mistake. That oftentimes cripples people on the onset of getting into anything. I'm not afraid of that feeling. It actually propels me and works quite the opposite. Work hard, sleep less.
Just imagine myself collecting awards. Just imagine myself, getting big parts. Imagine myself working with the greatest actors. My imagination is in my life. Yeah, man, I see myself driving that car one day. And I get that, you know what I mean? That's part of my inner magic, is that actually, if I can see myself doing it, I could probably do it.
Just keep banging on. keep your head down. Like when I swim, I've got 25 laps, guaranteed if I look up and start counting those laps, I'm petered out by 15. If I put my head down and keep working away and work at technique, work at internal rhythm, work at, I hit that length, I don't even know what length I'm on, guarantee you I'll look up and it'll be 20 and 2 more, 3 more to go. And that's a very simple device, but I think people find themselves incrementally checking how far they've got. And that, you know, when you compare it to anybody else or whatever, it's just it's a recipe for disaster. Just keep banging on. Achievement is inspirational to me, you know, people doing it. Someone that on Monday didn't know how to do this and by Friday can do it. That is an inspiration to me.
I've always worked hard, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not afraid of failing either. You know what I'm saying? Like I've thought that so many times that this is it. I'm never going to work again, and it just kept going. I've just never stopped working, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even when, you know, I had 4 years of not actually booking jobs, I was out on the streets trying to get a job.
Work hard, sleep less.
People talk about aiming for the skies. Sometimes even aiming for the skies is intimidating. Just don't give yourself boundaries. I mean, lose the boundaries, lose the conformity, and just go for it.
I used to hustle these streets, thinking about, you know, one day I'm going to be on in New York, and New York was that, you know, sort of big pinnacle mountain, and here I am.
And if you can't enjoy the journey, which means the step you're taking at this moment, is really the most important thing. Yes, of course, you know you're going that way, but this step is still to be enjoyed, because that's ultimately your whole life consists of the step you're taking at this moment. There is never anything else.
Be that fulfillment. Notice when I started noticing that fulfillment of it, I just finished. Well, that's enough. That's it. I don't know if I don't know if it's even coming out.
Enjoy the journey, not the destination. A lot of us delay our happiness. When I get to this level, when I get my degree, when I get the kids, when I get married, I'm going to be happy. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the whole step, the whole process. Every day that you get up to strive for whatever it is you're after. You know, I'm a goal-oriented guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't celebrate when you get to the finish line. Celebrate all along the way. Celebrate all along the way.
I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back, and I'll be stronger and better because of it. You have got to make a declaration.
But I've been working out consistently since I was 14 years old.
Right.
And I'm 44. I've been 30 years of hardcore 2-hour workout. 30 years.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen overnight. Nope. You just have to enjoy the process. Learn to enjoy it, because I'm sure there was a point where you started to enjoy losing 113 pounds.
Yep.
And that's the only way you're gonna keep going.
For me, inspiration is a journey. It is not a destination, okay? It is a motivated, internally motivated process. It's not this glamorous thing. It is mundane. I find inspiration on blank pages. I found inspiration, in my habits, okay? Moments of quiet, the intimacy on a heavy bag, alone, sweating. If it's me and a kettlebell, or me taking a walk and just breathing in, okay? Literally breathing in. Something that just because you arrive at the gates of success, that somehow as a new experience it's different than when you were not successful. It is exactly the same.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion. And I think that's the high order bit. The second thing is you've got to be a really good talent scout, because no matter how smart you are, you need a team of great people, and you've got to figure out how to size people up fairly quickly, make decisions without knowing people too well, and hire them, and see how you do, and refine your intuition, and be able to help build an organization that can eventually just build itself, because you need great people around you.
You want to get better? You want to self-improve? Stop looking for a shortcut and go find your alarm clock and find your discipline. And find your guts and your passion and your drive, and find your will. And then you will find your freedom. If you're afraid of heights, work on some rock climbing. If you're afraid of the water, it's time to swim. It's time to surf. It's time to get out there. If you're afraid of pull-ups, if you're afraid of pull-ups, do pull-ups. If you're in squats, do squats. If you're afraid of public speaking, go speak in public. If you're afraid to start a business, start a business. And eventually you will overcome that fear. But the hard part is, you gotta take that first step. Yeah. You gotta take that first step. Gotta take that first step against the fear of the thing.
If you died today, what dreams? What ideas? What books? What leadership? What voice? What story will die with you? Of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, but you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never used those talents. You never used those gifts. You never used those abilities. And there they are standing around your bed looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you. And only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what books, what leadership, what voice, what story will die with you?
You should wake up worried, terrified every morning, but don't be worried about our competitors, because they're never going to send us any money anyway. Let's be worried about our customers and stay heads down focused.
One of my jobs as the leader of Amazon is to encourage people to be bold. And people love to focus on things that aren't yet working. And that's good, it's human nature. That kind of divine discontent can be very helpful. But you really, it's incredibly hard to get people to take bold bets, and you need to encourage that. And if you're going to take bold bets, they're going to be experiments, and if they're experiments, you don't know ahead of time whether they're going to work. Experiments are, by their very nature, prone to failure. But big successes, a few big successes, compensate for dozens and dozens of things that didn't work. I've made billions of dollars of failures at Amazon.com. Literally, billions of dollars of failures. Because we know from our past experiences that big things start small. The biggest oak starts from an acorn, and you've got to recognize, if you want to do anything new, you've got to be willing to let that acorn grow into a little sapling and then finally into a small tree, and maybe one day it'll be a big business on its own. Amazon started as a very small company. It was me and a few other people. I was driving all the packages to the post office myself in my 1987 Chevy Blazer. You can't skip steps. You have to put one foot in front of the other. Things take time. There are no shortcuts. And but you want to do those steps with passion and ferocity.
It's easy to have ideas. It's very hard to turn an idea into a successful product. There are a lot of steps in between. It takes persistence, relentlessness.
Is that stress primarily comes from not taking action over something that you can have some control over. Do something you're very passionate about. I wanted to project myself forward to age 80 and say, okay, now I'm looking back on my life. I want to have minimized the number of regrets I have. And I knew that when I was 80, I was not going to regret having tried this. I was not going to regret having wanted, trying to participate in this thing called the internet that I thought was going to be a really big deal. I knew that if I failed, I wouldn't regret that.